Ladies and gentlemen, acclaimed journalists Woodward and Bernstein, who broke the Watergate story with the help of an informant within, or a person who leaked important information within the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who had a very interesting nickname. They're saying now that Trump is, the epitome of corruption and, surpasses Richard Nixon in terms of, horrible behavior. The interesting thing is that Nixon covered up an actual crime. Watergate was a crime and a break-in. It was an actual break-in and a cover-up. So you had a crime committed and, people went to prison for this crime and a cover-up of an actual crime. They have never indicted Trump, never charged him with a crime in a court of law. They've looked at his tax returns. They've investigated him for 2 years with a Mueller probe, which should never have taken place. And they accused him left and right of colluding with another country, of campaign finance violations with Stormy, of, being implicated in January. And the committee just failed to indict Dan Scavino and Mark Meadows because, again, Trump never committed a crime 2 years ago. He was never charged. He was never accused in a court of law by the D.C. Attorney General, Mayor, or the Attorney General of the United States of America, Merrick Garland. The panel in the House is just a theatrical performance. Nobody has ever accused Trump in a court of law of a specific crime. He's never been indicted or charged during the past 5-6 years of investigations. Not by James Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, Merrick Garland. Nobody has. Okay, they have his tax returns. They thought it was the holy grail of corruption. Not one person has ever charged Trump. Nixon could have easily been charged. He resigned. And Bill Clinton committed perjury. That's why he was impeached. They impeached Trump based on an ellipsis within a transcript that a lot of smart people said, oh my goodness, he's trying to find out dirt on mashed potato brains Biden. Well, okay, and now we know that Hunter's emails were clear violations of the law. We already knew that 2 years ago, actually, but of course Twitter suspended that, which gets us to Twitter and Elon Musk and Trump. Elon Musk purchased Twitter because he knew the platform was going to be used against anyone who opposes the mainstream paradigm of blame the Kremlin for everything, and liberal Democrats are the sane and rational people who preside over inflation, GDP, negative GDP, recession, oil prices at all-time highs, geopolitical nightmares. These are the wonderful people who said shut down the entire economy. It was our reaction, or I should say the Democratic Party and media and the reaction of apoplectic and oftentimes hysterical maniacs who were quote-unquote experts who demanded absolute obedience and allegiance and loyalty. Their words were gospel. We had to shut down and lock everything down and end economic activity for a year and a half. And of course, I'm speaking in roundabout terms because of YouTube, guidelines and protocols. But what political party rejoiced and gleefully shut down their economies? They gave Andrew Cuomo an Emmy for doing a horrible job 2 years ago, but that's Hollywood. That's the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats who have accused Trump of everything under the sun but can't indict him. You could have easily indicted Clinton for top-secret intelligence on private servers running outside of the United States government, but Comey went to bat for Madam Secretary. And by the way, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I pray for that every day. Please, I pray. Because I want every left-leaning pundit on YouTube and in the world to say vote for Hillary. This is something that is important to me. It's very, very important to me. If you've watched this channel since late 2015, I would do like one segment a week. Early 2016, I didn't start doing daily segments until like mid to late 2016. So if you've watched me since then, you understand why I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024, or Hillary DeSantis 2024. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Trump's going to be back on Twitter, whether it's his account or an account that actually posts Truth Social messages, which, by the way, they've banned that. So before Elon Musk allows complete freedom which Democrats don't want. The authoritarians, the people on the left, are the true authoritarians. They don't want speech, debate, discourse, discussion, dialogue. They don't want that because it promotes suspicion. If we're allowed to talk about Hunter's emails, if we're allowed to talk about mashed potato brains Joe lying about meeting Hunter's business associates, if we're allowed to talk about Joe bragging and boasting about blocking $1 billion until a prosecutor gets kicked out, and if we can actually debate and discuss that, and not just believe the nonsense. Well, he was doing it because the prosecutor was corrupt. So what? We have no right as a country to force out any other government official. Could you imagine if other people said, well, Mueller's corrupt? He was part of, he had a role to play in the uranium sale that wasn't vetoed by President Obama. He's corrupt, so let's just, fire Mueller. We would laugh. But apparently Joe Mashed Potato Brains had the right to force out a prosecutor in a country right now that's being invaded under his watch, interestingly enough, while his son was working for an energy company that was deemed corrupt. But see, again, you can't talk about these things because Twitter won't allow you to, or no social media platform allowed you to 2 years ago. But it started on Twitter. Twitter was a way to begin the silencing and the suppression of dialogue and speech and debate and discourse on all social media platforms. And because they were allowed to do that, we didn't have an actual functioning democracy. We had authoritarian rule from the morally superior, wonderful, and highly educated liberal Democrats who silence dissent. Anyone who dissents, who offers dissenting opinion, who disagrees or critiques the prevailing mentality on any subject, on any topic at all. Any topic at all. It is blasphemy, heresy, my God Almighty, my God Almighty. It's absolute, you're a heretic. You've done a disservice to mankind. Your friends and family will disown you because you're a Trumper, and they're going to vote for someone who's moral, like Mashed Potato Brains Joe and Hunter, who's a wonderful person. You just don't know who he is. He's a good person. He never did anything wrong to anybody, except if you read those emails, they're clear pay-to-play schemes, and you have that family enriching themselves, utilizing the family name. Trump never did that. Or I should say, utilizing the family name because the family name was associated with benefits from the United States government. Okay? There's one message stating, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? There were no emails associated with Kushner or Trump or Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. So if you had those types of emails, there's no way Trump would get out of it. But, tech companies go to bat, and they go after anyone who thinks outside of the box. So Elon Musk thinks outside of the box. He's already getting into it with Bill Gates, and rightfully so. Bill Gates has $1 billion short on Tesla, hundreds of millions of dollars. But the stock market's going to collapse, which is another reason why it's collapsing, and it's going to collapse much further. And I predicted that, and everything I've been saying in the stock market crash channel, the Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or lower channel, hit subscribe to both of those channels below, is taking place, unfortunately. Hit subscribe to this channel. We're almost at 200,000 subs, but he's going to be back on Twitter, and Democrats are going to have to contend with suspicion. The fact that they're so utterly corrupt that people are going to vote for the opposing political party, God forbid. The corruption within the Democratic Party far outweighs the corruption within the Republican Party or Trump Republican Party. You can look at the way that Pelosi's husband, he gets into a crash, under the influence, and it's just media doesn't talk about it. Could you imagine if anyone associated with Donald Trump, if God forbid Melania, or anyone, a spouse, a friend, anyone, it would be national news. Oh my God, how could you imagine if Hunter take those emails, those photos, those videos, everything, and then make Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. the person within those photos? Jimmy Kimmel would never stop making fun of a person associated with Trump, and it wouldn't be against Twitter guidelines. So without these immense advantages Democrats, the political party, ceases to exist. They need every single possible advantage. Hit subscribe to the channel right now. Trump's coming back onto Twitter. And be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'll have a segment at 8 a.m. every single morning.